Welcome back to my channel. As a review, the most commonly used measures of position are the following. We have quartiles, deciles, and percentiles. A quartile divides assorted data into 4 equal parts so that each part represents 1/4 or 25% of the dataset. A decile or deciles are the 9 score points which divide a distribution into 10 equal parts, while percentiles are the 99 score points which divide a distribution into 100 equal parts so that each part represents the dataset. So naaral na natin yung definition of the following measures of position. There are 3 different ways of calculating measures of position for ungrouped data. So ano-ano yung mga tatlong paraan sa pagko-compute ng measures of position? The first one is the general method. The second one is the linear interpolation. And the third one is called the Mendenhall and Sinsich method. In this video, we will tackle the general method of computing or calculating measures of position for ungrouped data. At the end of this session, the learners are able to, number 1, calculate quartiles, deciles, and percentiles for ungrouped data using the general method. Number 2, interpret measures of position. Here are the formulas that we are going to use in computing quartiles, deciles, and percentiles for ungrouped data using the general method. For quartiles, our formula is Q sub k equals k times n over 4. For deciles, our formula is D sub k equals k times n over 10. And for percentiles, we will use our formula P sub k equals k times n over 100. So for quartiles, the denominator is 4. Deciles, the denominator is 10. Percentiles, the denominator is 100. N here is the number of entries or data in the given set. 2 cases may arise. Number 1, if the result is not an integer, then round up to the next integer. So if the result is a decimal, say for instance, you need to round it up to the next integer. Number 2, if the result is an integer, then get the average of the values of x sub k and x sub k plus 1 positions. For example, kung ang na-compute mo ay 3, that means you have to get the average of the third and the fourth data. If for example, ang na-compute mo ay 5, which is also an integer, therefore you need to get the average of the fifth and the sixth data. So let's apply the formulas and these cases in calculating measures of position for ungrouped data with our examples. Example number 1. Given the following weights in kilograms: 50, 52, 48, 58, 53, 54, 59, 65, 61, 60, 73, 80, find Q sub 1 or the lower quartile, Q sub 3 or the upper quartile, and the interquartile range. So let's copy our given. Let's first find Q sub 1. The first step that we should do here is to arrange the data in ascending order. Ascending means mula sa pinakamababa hanggang sa pinakamataas. Kapag inayos natin yung mga numbers na to in ascending order, we will have 48, 50, 52, 53, 54, 58, 59, 60, 61, 65, 73, and 80. So sa step na to, kailangan you have to be very careful sa pagsusulat ng inyong data. Next step, we will count the numbers in our given data. Bilangin natin, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. In this example, our n is equal to 12. We are looking for Q sub 1. Therefore, we need to use the formula Q sub k equals k times n over 4. In our formula, k will be replaced by 1, the subscript of the indicated measure of position, and n will be replaced by 12. Substituting 1 and 12, we now have q sub 1 equals 1 times 12 over 4. Next, multiply 1 by 12. 1 times 12 is equal to 12. So we now have q sub 1 equals 12 over 4. 12 divided by 4 is equal to 3. So we have q sub 1 is equal to 3. 3 is an integer. We need to apply the second condition. The result is an integer. Therefore, get the average of the values of x sub k and x sub k plus 1 positions. Again, q sub 1 equals 3. That implies we need to get the average of the third and the fourth data. So ano ba yung third and fourth data? Hanapin natin dito sa ating given. So bibilang lang tayo. 1, 2, 3. So ito po yung ating third. Ito naman yung ating fourth. To find q sub 1, we need to get the average of 52 and 53. So q sub 1 equals 52 plus 53 all over 2. 52 plus 53 is equal to 105. So 105 divided by 2, that's equal to 52.5. Therefore, q sub 1 equals 52.5. This means that 25% of the students weighed less than or equal to 52.5 kilograms. 25% because q sub 1 is our measure of position. So 25% of the students weighed less than or equal to 52.5 kilograms. With the same set of data, let's now find q sub 3. First step is to arrange our numbers in ascending order. So here is our solution. Next, count the number of entries. In this situation, our n is equal to 12. We are looking for q sub 3. That's why we need to use the formula q sub k equals k times n over 4. In this formula, we will substitute 3 in place of k. Kasi q sub 3 yung ating hinahanap. So, papalitan natin si k ng 3 and si n naman papalitan natin ng 12. Substituting these values, we now have q sub 3 equals 3 times 12 over 4. 3 times 12, as we all know, is equal to 36. Next, divide. 36 divided by 4 is equal to 9. So, q sub 3 is equal to 9. 9 is an integer. So, we will apply the second condition. The result is an integer. Therefore, get the average of the values of x sub k and x sub k plus 1 positions. Again, q sub 3 is equal to 9. That means we need to get the average of the 9th and the 10th data. So, asan kaya si 9th and 10th data? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So, here is our 9th data and this is our 10th data. In order to find q sub 3, we need to get the average of 61 and 65. So, q sub 3 equals 61 plus 65 all over 2. 61 plus 65, that's equal to 126. 126 divided by 2 is equal to 63. Therefore, q sub 3 or the upper quartile is equal to 63. Upper quartile, or that's 75% of the data. This means that 75% of the students weighed less than or equal to 63 kilograms. Next part, let's find the interquartile range with the same set of data. Again, to find the interquartile range, we need to use the formula interquartile range equals upper quartile minus the lower quartile. We have already solved the upper quartile and the lower quartile in our previous examples. q Q sub 1 equals 52.5. Q sub 3 equals 63. So in order to find the interquartile range, we just need to subtract these numbers. Interquartile range equals 63 minus 52.5. So our interquartile range equals 10.5. I hope the first example is clear to everybody. Let's have another example. Example number 2. Given the following test scores: 10, 12, 12, 8, 13, 14, 17, 15, 11, 20, 23, find D sub 9, D sub 5. So let's first find D sub 9. We have the data copied from the original example. The first step is to arrange these numbers in ascending order mula sa pinakamababa hanggang sa pinakamataas. Doing so, we have 8, 10, 11, 12, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, 20, and 23. Now let's count how many numbers do we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Therefore, n is equal to 11. We are looking for D sub 9. So we need to use our formula D sub k equals k times n over 10. Here, k will be replaced by 9 because we are looking for D sub 9. And n this time will be replaced by 11. Substituting 9 and 11, we now have D sub 9 equals 9 times 11 over 10. 9 times 11 is equal to 99. So we have D sub 9 equals 99 over 10. Next, divide using your calculator. 99 divided by 10, that is equal to 9.9. 9.9 is a decimal number, which is not an integer. So we need to apply the first case or condition. The result is not an integer. Then, round up to the next integer. We need to round up to the next integer. Again, D sub 9 equals 9.9. The result is 9.9. So if we will round it up to the next integer, our answer will be 10th. Now let's look for the 10th data in our entries. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is our 10th data. Therefore, D sub 9 is equal to 20. D sub 9 means the 90th the 9th decile rather, or the 90% of the data. So this means that 90% of the students got a score less than or equal to 20. Next, let's find for D sub 5. Again, let's arrange the data in ascending order. So we have 8, 10, 11, 12, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, 20, 23. Count the entries or the numbers. So n equals 11. We are looking for D sub 5. We need to use the formula D sub k equals k times n over 10. In this example, k will now be replaced by 5 because we are looking for D sub 5. N will be replaced by 11. Substituting these numbers, we have D sub 5 equals 5 times 11 over 10. Multiply 5 by 11. 5 times 11 equals 55. So we have D sub 5 equals 55 over 10. Next, divide 55 by 10. So 55 divided by 10 is equal to 5.5. 5.5, as we all know, is not an integer. It is a decimal number. So we need to apply our first case or condition. The result is not an integer. Then, round up to the next integer. Again, D sub 5 equals 5.5. The result is 5.5. So if we will round it up, the result will be 6th. We need to find the 6th data. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The 6th data is 13. So therefore, the fifth decile or d sub 5 equals 13. This is our final answer. This means that 50% of the students got a score less than or equal to 13. I hope the second example is clear to everybody. Let's have the last example. Example number 3. The judges' scores in a singing contest are the following: 98, 94, 92, 95, 98, 94, 97, 90. Find P sub 75 and P sub 53. So let's first find P sub 75 using the general method. First step is to arrange these numbers in ascending order, mula sa pinakamababa hanggang sa pinakamataas. Doing that, we have 90, 92, 94, 94, 95, 97, 98, 98. Next, count how many numbers do we have in the given set. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. N is equal to 8. We are looking for P sub 75. Therefore, we need to use the formula P sub k equals k times n over 100. In this example, we will replace k by 75 because we are looking for the 75th percentile. N will be replaced by 8. So substituting 75 and 8, we now have P sub 75 equals 75 times 8 over 100. 75 times 8 is equal to 600. We have P sub 75 equals 600 over 100. Divide 600 divided by 100 is 6. So P sub 75 equals 6. 6 is an integer. So we will apply our second condition or case. The result is an integer. Therefore, get the average of the values of x sub k and x sub k plus 1 positions. Again, P sub 75 equals 6. The result is 6. That means we need to get the average of the 6th and the 7th data. So, asan po ang ating 6th and 7th data? Hanapin natin dito. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, ito yung 6th data. This is the 7th data. We need to get the average of 97 and 98. So, P sub 75 equals 97 plus 98 all over 2. O, lagi pong over 2. Pagpaplasin mo lang, laging over 2. Pagkukuha po ng average ng dalawang numbers. 97 plus 98, that's equal to 195. And 195 divided by 2 is equal to 97.5. Therefore, P sub 75 equals 97.5. This means that 75% of the contestants got a score less than or equal to 97.5. So, 75% daw ang may score na 97.5 pababa. Nakikita naman dito sa ating given. Next, let's find P sub 53 using the general method again. First step, arrange the data in ascending order. Nakaayos na po siya in ascending order. Next, count the number of entries. Ilan po sila lahat? Pag binilang, 8 sila. We are looking for P sub 53. Therefore, we will use the formula P sub k equals k times n over 100. In this example, ang k naman natin ay papalitan natin ng 53. Yung n, ganun pa rin, which is equal to 8. So, substituting 53 and 8 in our formula, we have P sub 53 equals 53 times 8 over 100. Next step, 53 times 8, that's equal to 424. Divide 424 divided by 100 using your calculator, that's equal to 4.24. So, hindi na naman integer yung lumabas or a decimal number. Dahil decimal po ang lumabas, we will apply the first condition. The result is not an integer. Then, round up to the next integer. So, ang nakuha natin ay 4.24. Pag ni-round up natin ito, si 4.24 ay magiging 5. So we are looking for the fifth data. The fifth data in our entry is our 53rd percentile. Hanapin natin si fifth data. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The fifth data is 95. Therefore, P sub 53 equals 95. This means that 53% of the contestants got a score less than or equal to 95. I hope clear sa inyo ang pagka-calculate or pagka-compute ng measures of position using general method. Thank you for watching.